Koloyim La Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. Let's go to the bottom of sales of GMS. Honest to Akim. And peace and bless you, brothers and sisters that listen, hopeful elect. Koloyim La Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. And address this quick lesson today to the power of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi on the seed of Israel and it's a genealogy based off of man. This is common knowledge, man. Okay, I sure would tell you that, man. Okay, everybody's genealogy is based off a man's seed. Okay, and the real reason behind this controversy is because he was trying to address seed of Israel, which is ironic that he calls himself that because he doesn't understand, the genealogy is based off a man's seed. The real reason behind this controversy is because of dealing with women of the other nations. Okay, he's playing to his base because the majority of his supporters are these retarded Israelite women. Okay, they're the main ones that support him. They're the main ones that's commenting on his videos. Okay, that's his base. He's playing to them. You see, and that's wicked, man. Okay, the prophets, we don't play to anybody, man, other than the elect. Okay, and we say, Adon Ratazah, what it is written. Okay, and what's written? Well, you quoted that scripture, but the scripture says, with all thy reading, get understanding. Okay, when you read Numbers 1:18, so yes, we can have women of the other nations. There's a law on the concubine. Right? Whatever child you have with that woman is based off your seed. Okay? His nationality is based off your seed. That's how Noah and his 3 sons repopulated the planet Earth. Okay? Let's get that. Let me read Numbers 1:18 first. It says, and they assemble all the congregations on the first day of the 2nd month and declare their pedigrees, their records, their genealogy after their families by the house of their fathers, man. Okay, Jacob, we know the 12 sons of Jacob, the 12 patriarchs. Jacob also had a daughter named Dinah. She did not become a tribe or a nation. Okay, you go into Noah and his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, and it gives you their families. Let me read a little bit of that, and then I'm going to jump to some other points. See, Genesis 10:1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Unto them were sons born after the flood. And the sons of Japheth, it gives you their names. Right? And it says, and the sons of Gomer, and the sons of Javan, it gives you all their names on down. Then it goes, and the sons of Ham. Right? It doesn't give you the daughter's name. The genealogy was based off a man. Okay, and then you go on down. It goes into Canaan. It goes into all their family lines. It goes through the sons because that's how the genealogy was always determined. Okay, it was always determined like that, man. It never went based off a woman, and it doesn't have to be. That's not in the scriptures. Both parents have to be Israelites in order for the child to be an Israelite. That's something that you made up. Scripture says, trust in the Most High with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. Okay, that's you leaning on your own understanding. That's nowhere in the Bible, man. It's based off a man's seed. And we all know you could take it even further. Ephraim and Manasseh and Joseph, they became also fathers of the patriarch, which was Jacob's grandsons, Joseph's sons. Then Joseph had what? An Egyptian woman. All right. What about Aisha? What about the devil Esau himself? Were his children of mixed seed? Because they keep talking this man's shit, which they have no understanding. We already broke that down. All right. It's a heathen child that has nothing to do with your mother being a heathen. All right. You're still an Israelite, man. It's based off what? The seed of a man. Let's get to Genesis 36:1. Now these are the generations of of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took wives of the daughters of Canaan, Hamites, Adar, the daughter of Elon, and Hittite. We went against his father Isaac's wishes. And Holabiah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite. And he did what? And Beshemoth, Ishmael's daughter. So his wives were from the tribe of Ishmael, and they were Canaanites, they were Hamites. And Adar bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bisha Ruel. You see? Let's read on. And Olabima bare Joash and Jalem and Korah. These are the sons of Esau. Okay? So what were his children? They were of his line, no matter what woman he took. No matter if the child came out with pigmentation, they were an Edomite. Okay? That's how it was always determined. So, a lot of you dudes in your feelings, like I say, he's playing to his base. Matter of fact, let me get Moses as well. We all know Solomon's son Rehoboam. You even know David's Ruth. Okay? Ruth, man. Alright? Which that was his grandmother. Okay? So when you go into the history, Boaz was a kinsman redeemer for what's his guy name? Elimelech. Alright, he redeemed his seed and also his land. Okay, you can read that in the book of Ruth, man. Alright, then you had Obed, then you had Jesse. You see? So there you go. So Ruth was his great grandmother, because you had Obed, then you had Jesse, then you had David. Okay, but he was still from the line of Judah. So was Obed, man. So was Jesse. So it has nothing to do with your mother, man. Now let me get Moses' son as well. Like we said, this all controversy stems from brothers saying you could have women of the other nations, man, which you can. It's called a concubine. There's a law on that. All right. Let me read this. Exodus chapter 2, verse 21. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. All right, which we know how you call it. His daughter was a Midianite. Okay, and Midian was one of the sons of Keturah in Genesis the 25th chapter. You see. So let me read that again. Exodus 2, verse 21. It says, and Moses was content to dwell with the man, and we know this man was Reuel, also known as Jethro. And he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom or Gar, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. He was in the land of Midian, right, which you call modern day Saudi Arabia. So his son name was Gershom. Now, what was Gershom's nationality? He was a Levite. Go into the book of Chronicles, which are the records to prove that. 1 Chronicles 23. 1 Chronicles chapter 23, verse, let's go into this. 1 Chronicles 23:14. So we know Moses' woman was what? Zipporah, who was a Midianite. She wasn't an Israelite. And she brought forth Gershom or Gar, because he was a stranger in a strange land. Now concerning Moses, the man of the Most High, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. All right. So Gershom was what? A Levite, man. Okay. So it's always based off a man's seed. And like I said, the ironic thing is, you call yourself seed of Israel. See? Scripture says they desire to be teachers of the law, understanding not the things that they say and the things that they confirm, man. You need to be taught again. That's why Solomon said this. Let me read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. So it's based off a man's seed. Alright? Wisdom of Solomon. And I'm going to go to another prominent judge in Israel, whose wife was his mother was a harlot. Or she was a woman of the other nations. Right? I think his father's name was Gilead. It was Jephthah. Let me read this. The Wisdom of Psalm 7, verse 1. I myself am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth, Adam. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. The seed of man. Okay? The baby's nationality is determined before the sperm even hit the egg, man. Okay? It's based off that man's seed. She's bringing forth his seed. She's carrying his seed. She's the earth, man. The seed is nourished in her womb. Okay? They even teach you in science that the man determines the gender of the baby because he has both the X and Y chromosome, man. This is common biology, man. So it has nothing to do with how the child look like. It's based off the seed of a man. It has nothing to do with what nationality his mother is based off a man's seed. And like I said before, yes, we can have concubines. I'm going to read Women of the Other Nations, okay? Let me go into another famous example. Matter of fact, let me read the law first. I'm going to go into that. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10. It says, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahawah thy power, this is Deuteronomy 21 and 10, have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive. Okay, that's what happens in wartime. You don't only get that man's land, his resources, you get him as well. You also get his what? His woman. You see? When you take that nation down, his woman is spoiled. Alright, after you put them to death, the men, the woman is up for grabs, man. Alright, it says Deuteronomy 21:11, and cease among the captives a beautiful woman, as a Ziah unto her, thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Why are you guys looking over the scriptures, man? This is in the law. This is in the law, man. Okay? Let me read on. Dude's got a problem with the scriptures, man. Then thou shalt bring her to a home in thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, the state of mourning. You give her respect, give her a time to weep for her loved ones, her countrymen, her family, all right? And she put off the raiment of captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. After that thou shalt go in unto her, have sex with her, and be her husband. That's what consummated the marriage. And she shall be thy wife, aka a concubine or a secondary wife. Okay? That's what it was, man. And our forefathers had that. Abraham had that. Okay, with Hagar. Our forefather Jacob, Zilha and Bilhah. Right? Those handmaidens. You see? You even go to Jephthah. Let's go to that. Judges the 12th, the 11th chapter. I think it's Judges the 11th chapter. So it's good history right here. Judges 11. Now Jephthah, the Gileadite, he was from the tribe of Manasseh, was a mighty man of Valor, and he was the son of a harlot, and Gilead begat Jephthah. So his mom was a harlot. Right? She was a heathen woman. All right? When you want to look it up. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah. So his father had a wife, but he had also a harlot, right? She could have been a captive woman, but she was a heathen woman. And he bore Jephthah. But what was Jephthah's nationality? We'll read on in a second. Sons grew up, so his brothers, and they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, thou shalt not inherit our father's house, for thou art a son of a strange woman, right? A heathen woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob, and they gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. Okay. Now let's read on. And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel, to the modern day Japanese. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. So they needed him. Right? So much for that. It says, and Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, did he not hate me and expel me out of my father's house? Why ye come unto me now when you are in distress? All right. It says, so let me jump. So he was victorious against the children of Ammon, and it made him captain. Right? Let me read Judges the 12th chapter, and I'll read on down to verse 4. And the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and went northward, and said unto Jephthah, Wherefore passest thou over to fight against the children of Ammon, and didst not call us with thee? We will burn thine house upon thee with fire. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon, and when I called you, ye delivered me not out of their hands, because he was a tribe of Manasseh. There was a lot of internal strife going on during this time period of Judges, okay? So I think it was a period of 450 years. All right. Continue on verse 3. And when I saw that he delivered me not, I put my life in my hands and passed over against the children of Ammon, and Yahawashi delivered them into my hand. Wherefore then are ye come up unto me this day to fight against me? Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. And the men of Gilead smote Ephraim, because they said, Ye Gileadites are fugitives of Ephraim, among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites, man. Okay, so the men of Gilead were from what? Where Jephthah was from. They were what? They were of the tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. And so was Jephthah. He was from the tribe of Manasseh, even though his mother was a harlot. All right, or more likely a captive woman, a woman of the other nations. It's based off a man's seed. And we also showed that with Moses. Okay, Moses' son Gershom was born in the land of Midian. His mom was a Midianite. Right? Also Solomon's son. He also showed Genesis the 10th chapter. All right. Also even Esau. Esau took women of the other nations, man. Okay, they weren't Edomite women. What is wrong with you guys, man? Right? And like I said, it's all being emotional because according to him, you can't deal with women of the other nations, man. Okay, and the Most High said that for specific reasons when you read Deuteronomy the 7th chapter, not to mix with the Canaanites, because Solomon told you what the Canaanites were doing. But he also said in the law, when you go out to war, all right, and you overthrow the nations, if you see a beautiful woman that you want and you go into her, she is your wife. That's the law of the concubine. All right, you can also read that in Numbers the 31st chapter. Man, let's get these scriptures, man. Numbers 31. All right. It says, then, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, this is the Lord, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward thou shalt be gathered unto thy people. Okay. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge Yahawashi of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall he send to war. So they delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent unto them war in 1,000 of every tribe. Them and Phinehas of Eleazar the priest to war with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, who was the son of Keturah, right? One of the sons of Abraham, but they weren't Israelites. As Yahawashi commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. Let's listen. And they slew the kings of Midian beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Eva, Rechem, Zur, Hor, Reba, 5 kings of Midian, Balaam, also the son of Beor, that slew with the sword. Yeah, Balaam the prophet. All right. It says, and the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives, and their little ones, and took the spoil of their cattle, and their flocks, and all their goods. Let's read on. Let's read on. Verse 13. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, and with the captains of 1,000s and captains of 100s, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against Yahawashi in the matter of Peor. So that's one of the reasons why the Most High told us that, man. It wasn't dealing with the women of the other nations. It's because what? When you marry a woman, you marry also her culture. Okay? And some of them can turn your heart away from the Lord. But let's listen. and they were a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. So all the women that weren't virgins, put their ass to death, right? But all the woman children, the young women that have not known a man, virgins, by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves, man. They became what? A concubine. Okay, so there you go. That's the law on these things. This is the history, man. If you have understanding of certain things, you got to go through the history. Okay? And that's a problem, man. Dudes is just willful. All right? They're being what? Presumptuous. And the Lord hates that. Matter of fact, let me close it up with that precept, man. The scripture goes for him. This dude never shows his face, man. He's been around for a while. The seed of Israel. He never ever shows his face. Scripture says, thy eyes shall see thy teachers, man. All right? But this is what it says. 2 Peter 2:10. But chiefly among them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. They despise the government. The Most High already set up his government already, man. All right? Starting with the elders and the apostles on down, man. Okay? That's the men that he put there in their lot for a reason. All right? They stood the test of the times. They always went out week in and week out, man. The Most High, Yahawashi, is dealing with order, man. Just like you had order back then with the 12 apostles on down the apostle Paul, Barnabas. All right? Then he established elders and bishops in the churches. A lot of dudes are what? We're going to read. In the flesh of uncleanness and despise government. They despise government, man. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities, man. Okay? The men of the Lord, man. So the scripture says that they what? They self-willed. We see that a lot. A lot of guys are just headstrong. They're bold. All right? And the scripture says that what? They're presumptuous. You see? They're just arrogant, man. Okay? They're arrogant, man. And the scripture says, like they, they're self-asserting. Matter of fact, there's a scripture thinking, oh man, I think, where is that scripture? I think it's Sirach 20. Let me see if it's it. If not, I'll just close it out. I think it's Sirach 20. Okay, there we go. Sirach 20 verse 8. It says, he that useth many words shall be abhorred, and he that taketh to himself authority therein shall be hated, man. Okay? Adding authority to yourself, exalting yourself, extolling yourself, you're going to be hated. Alright? Scripture says you're self-willed. Okay? You're arrogant, man. And you don't know your place in this thing, man. And truth be told, you shouldn't even be teaching, man. Okay? It's not time to hold back, man. You really gotta mark those who cause division. That's causing division. Okay? Both of your parents gotta be Israelites. What the hell are you talking about, man? It has to be based off the seed of man. That's how the Most High always did things, man. Genealogy or the pedigree, the records is always based off the seed. Just like Yahawashi's genealogy in Matthew the 1st chapter gives you all his fathers, man. And that cuts the Immaculate Conception, because he had to come through the line of David, the seed of David. It tells you that in the scriptures. All right? The Messiah had to come through the seed of David. Matter of fact, let me get that. 2 Samuel the 7th chapter. See, he's all the spirit, man. Let me see, 2 Samuel 7. It's Most High speaking to David. All right. 2 Samuel, verse 7. This is Nathan speaking to David. Verse 8. Now therefore thou shalt say unto my servant David, thus saith Yahawashi of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep. to be ruler over my people Israel. And I was with thee, my people over Israel, and I was with thee whatsoever thou wentest. And have cut off all thine enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto all the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more, as of before time, these nations. Starting with Ishar and down. And as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies, also Yahawashi telleth thee, he will make thee an house. And when thy days be fulfilled, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and I will set up thy seed after thee, which thou proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Yahawashi Mashiach. So the Messiah had to come through the seed of David, man. Okay, so that should clear up the confusion, man. All right, so that must say, call on Yahawah Shalom.